Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Sajine, your clarity coach, and today we're talking about something that I believe will resonate with so many people. Maybe you've spent years replaying conversations in your head. Maybe you've analyzed every text, every disagreement, every mistake. Maybe you've asked yourself, what could I have done differently? Here on my podcast, we dive into raw truths of breaking free from the expectations we've grown up with, rediscovering our voices, and thriving after life's challenges. But this isn't just about my story, it's about life, from relationships and self-discovery to the messy, beautiful questions we all face. No topic is off limits here. So if you're ready to embrace courage, healing, and life on your own terms, you're in the right place. Let's connect, let's grow. Welcome to the journey. Before we get started, here's a quick disclaimer. The podcast is for informational, inspirational purposes only. I'm not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional. And the content shared here is based on personal experiences and insights. If you're facing significant challenges, please seek the support of a qualified professional. Remember, your journey is unique and you deserve the care and guidance that's right for you. So, we've also thought, what if I had more patience? What if I had explained myself better? What if I was the problem? Today, I want to offer a perspective that might change everything. What if your greatest strengths were never weaknesses? What if your compassion wasn't the problem? What if your forgiveness wasn't the problem? What if your loyalty wasn't the problem? What if someone simply learned how to use those gifts against you? Because manipulative people don't usually attack your weakness. They often exploit your strengths. Let's dive into this today. So my podcast title for this week is You Were Never the Problem, How Manipulative People Used Your Greatest Strengths Against You. Let's give you a little description of it. Have you ever wondered why toxic people always made you feel like you were the problem? What if the very qualities that made you beautiful, your kindness, loyalty, empathy, patience, and willingness to see the best in others were the exact qualities that were exploited? In this episode, we uncover how manipulative people weaponize your greatest assets against you, why they work so hard to make you question yourself, and how reclaiming your worth often becomes the moment they begin calling you difficult. You'll learn how manipulation operates, why healthy boundaries feel uncomfortable at first, and how to stop carrying blame that never belonged to you. This conversation is for anyone healing from toxic relationships, dysfunctional families, workplace manipulation, spiritual abuse, or friendships that left them questioning their value. You were never too much. You were simply surrounded by people who benefited from you being less. So let's study this. Why manipulative people target good people? One of the biggest misconceptions is that manipulators choose weak people. That's not true. Most manipulative individuals target people who possess valuable qualities. Why? Because those qualities benefit them. Think about it. Who's easier to exploit? Someone who feels guilty easily? Someone who gives second chances? Someone who wants peace? Someone who sees potential? Someone who doesn't quit on people? Those aren't flaws. Those are strengths. The problem is the strengths without boundaries becomes vulnerabilities. A generous person can become overextended. A compassionate person can be exploited. A forgiving person can become trapped. A patient person can become tolerated beyond reason. The strength isn't the issue. The missing boundary is. Wow. I sometimes think about it because I always thought maybe I was manipulated because I was weak. But now I see it so well. I did miss the boundaries part. And I never really thought about it. The things that they are missing is what they want from you. So, how your best qualities were used against you. Your empathy. You understood their childhood. You understood their trauma. You understood their pain. And because you understood it, you excused behavior that should have never been accepted. Empathy became a doorway they walked through repeatedly. Healthy empathy says, I understand why you did it. Boundaried empathy says, but that doesn't make it acceptable. You know, when I was going through this, you know how many pitiful stories I heard? And me being the helper gobbled it up so much. I was still skeptical, but I figured that much misfortune could not fall upon somebody who was bad, right? Why? Because you were going through your own misfortunes. So you put your own things that you were going through onto somebody else, thinking that you were one and the same. Your loyalty stayed. You worked harder. You gave more. You believed commitment meant perseverance. But look, with loyalty without reciprocity becomes self-abandonment. You were fighting for the relationship while they were benefiting from it. Oh my goodness, we are loyal. We're loyal. But I think I saw something, I don't know if it was Instagram or Pinterest, where it said the person was working and they put a sign on the back at their work station, and it said, if you want loyalty, get yourself a dog. And it made me laugh. Because how many times have they told you, if you're loyal, you would be rewarded? And instead, they just rewarded you with more work. More work every time. Your forgiveness. Every apology got another chance. Every promise got another opportunity. Every disappointment got another explanation. Forgiveness is beautiful. Repeated access without accountability is not. I don't know about you, but when I was in church, I remember they would pull out the whole thing of you need to forgive that person 70 times 7. And you're thinking, that's a lot. And they'd be like, yeah, that is not just about the number. What they're telling you is you need to forgive all the time, even if the person did you wrong. And now I think about it, and I'm like, oh, they did it too because they wanted you to forgive them also for everything they did to you or were doing to you. No, I don't think so. You can forgive somebody because, like they say, it's for you. But you don't have to give them access anymore. You're done. Your responsibility. This one is huge. Manipulative people love responsible people because responsible people ask, what can I do better? Manipulators answer everything. Responsible people self-reflect. Manipulators redirect blame. Soon you're carrying 90% of the relationship's problems. Okay, let me get this here for you. When you're a responsible person, you will pay bills. You make sure that the money's stretched out. You'll make sure there's food. You will make sure everything's running perfectly in your house. Now, when you're responsible at work, they know they can count on you getting things done, and they don't have to give you much money or redirection. They know you'll just do it because you'll gobble it up. When you are responsible at church, they know that you're going to be volunteering for all their things that they want to give you, or even all the non-paid work that they send out. They know you're responsible. Why they called you the problem. This is where many people experience a breakthrough. The moment you begin valuing yourself, everything changes. Suddenly, you're selfish. You're difficult. You're cold. You're negative. You're dramatic. But I also heard, oh, you're just not a team player. You're just not nice. You're not flexible enough. You've changed. But notice something. These labels often appear when you stop over-functioning. I have done self-reflection in my life. And every time I started to make changes to make myself have a balanced life, something happened. They would treat me horribly wrong. Church, they're like, oh, she's not a Christian enough wife. That's why he left. Work, oh, she just doesn't want this job really well. Or why is she slacking now? Or she's not nice. At home, it was, oh, you just don't cheer me on. You've changed. You're not nice. You're always mean. You have a heart of metal. Oh, yeah, I heard that one as I put the little metal ornament of a heart on a Christmas tree because I thought it was beautiful. And I got told, oh, you got something that actually shows what your heart is. And I was like, oh my gosh, seriously? Oh man, I tell you, these things that they tell you, people who lack, when you lack boundaries, they just take. And the person who benefited from your silence experiences your voice as aggression. It's interesting when you are silent, how some of them love it. The moment you have a voice, oh no, now you're the problem. Person who benefited from your self-sacrifice experiences your self-respect as selfishness. Oh, now you're not being nice. Why are you doing this? You get called in. And now they want to know why. And you're thinking, wait a minute. I just got done being used. I think I can deliver what is needed without burning myself up, right? The person who benefited from your self-sacrifice experiences your self-respect as selfishness. Nothing changed except your willingness to tolerate mistreatment. That's why they suddenly see you as a problem, because the old version of you was easier to control. Hence, I love my younger peers, but you know what? They loved, for men, of course my ex, went for the younger ones because now they're easier to control. Why? Because younger people are so eager to please, The older you get, you start seeing the truth and you're like, oh no, I'm not playing this game anymore. And that's when the issues start. The psychological trap. Many survivors become trapped in a cycle of rumination. They endlessly replay events. Why? Because healthy people assume fairness. You believe if you understand what happened, it will make sense. But manipulation often doesn't make sense because it wasn't designed around fairness. It was designed around advantage. You keep looking for logic in a system built on control. That's why healing requires a shift. Stop asking, how could they do this? Start asking, what was I being taught to ignore? Big one. That question changes everything. I think that was one of my favorite things is, what am I not seeing? It's so important for you to say, hey, what's going on? So how do you reclaim your power? Stop defending yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Hear that again. Stop defending yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Some people aren't confused. They simply chosen a narrative. Not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every misunderstanding deserves correction. I'll tell you why. Because I remember I would get phone calls screaming, saying why I had called in screaming, and I was like, what are you talking about? And the more I spoke, the more they would rage. And I was like, oh, I'm not even dealing with this. And I would hang up, right? Start seeing how people do weird things, and you're thinking, wait a minute, there is no logic to what you're doing. It's because there isn't. They usually do it because they want to, I guess they would say, pin you to something that you never did. So that way they can tell people you were the issue, They're just trapping you and saying, hey, this is the reason why I don't talk to so-and-so. This is the reason why I don't like her. This is the reason why she's mean. This is the reason why she's a gold digger. This is the reason she's not a team player. You name it. It's all out there. So trust patterns more than promises. Manipulative people often make excellent promises, the future faking. Healthy people demonstrate consistent patterns. Watch behavior, not speeches. I have now gone to the point where I check patterns. Unfortunately, that's what I've been left with. Patterns all the time. And then I'm like, nope, I'm not falling for that. Learn the difference between compassion and access. You could understand someone, pray for someone, love someone, forgive someone, and still refuse access to your life. I've also redirected people to other people. You can do that as well. Build boundaries before emergencies. Many people create boundaries after they've already been hurt. Healthy boundaries are proactive, not reactive. You don't wait for a house fire before buying smoke detectors. The boundaries are there for you. How much crap are you willing to take? It's not to give anybody an ultimatum. Even though if somebody is talking bad about you, you can always say, hey, I don't feel like you need to talk this way towards me, right? And if they do it again, you say, hey, okay, well, if you're going to continue doing this, I'm going to have to leave, And when you're willing to talk to me with respect, I'm more than happy to talk to you. And you're thinking, yeah, that's easy, but you don't know this person. Yeah. I don't probably know them, but I do know that a lot of manipulative people seem to use the same rule book for some reason. And you're just going to have to take baby steps and be strong. It's going to hurt, but you can do it. Stop measuring your worth by someone's opinion. The person benefiting from your self-doubt is not qualified to define what? Your value. Your worth was never determined by their approval. The truth about healing isn't becoming harder. Healing isn't becoming bitter. Healing isn't becoming suspicious of everyone. Even though I just told you I check everybody out, I know I'll get there. Healing is becoming wiser. You can remain kind and become discerning. You can remain compassionate and become protected. You can remain loving and become boundaried. You don't have to become someone else. You simply have to stop abandoning yourself. I like to think about it, and what they say is, they got to earn your respect. Because we as empathetics, we think that everybody operates just like we do, and they don't. You got to be strong. There's nothing you can do about it. They're always going to come at you. Let's do these 5 journal prompts that I'd love to give you. Number 1, which of my strengths have been repeatedly exploited in past relationships? 2, what behavior have I excused because I understood someone's pain? 3, where am I still trying to prove my worth to someone who already decided not to see it? 4, what would a healthy boundary look like in my most challenging relationship? 5, if I fully believed I was never the problem, what would I stop carrying today? Close your eyes. You'll go through our guided meditation. Take a slow breath in and exhale completely. Again, inhale peace, exhale pressure. Allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your jaw to soften. Allow yourself to fully be present. Imagine yourself standing in a field. You're carrying a heavy backpack. Inside are years of blame, years of guilt, years of self-questioning, years of trying to prove yourself, one by one, removing the items. The criticism, set it down. The shame, set it down. The accusations, set them down. The impossible expectations, set them down. Notice how much lighter you feel. Now place your hand over your heart. Repeat slowly. I'm allowed to trust myself. I'm allowed to protect myself. I'm allowed to have boundaries. I'm allowed to say no. I'm allowed to stop explaining myself. I'm allowed to choose peace. I release responsibility for what was never mine. I release the need to prove my worth. I release the need to earn love. I'm worthy because I exist. I'm valuable because I exist. I'm enough exactly as I am. Take another slow breath. Imagine a golden light surrounding you. This light is wisdom, discernment, protection, self-respect. You don't need armor. You need clarity. And clarity is returning to you now. Stay here for a few moments. Breathing, resting. Trust yourself again. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Wiggle your toes. Sit up. And we're going to work this together. If today's episode resonated with you, I want you to remember this. Manipulative people didn't target your weakness. They often targeted your strengths. Your empathy was never the problem. Your kindness was never the problem. Your loyalty was never the problem. The problem was that someone taught you those gifts belong to everyone except you. They don't. Your compassion deserves boundaries. Your love deserves reciprocity. And your life deserves peace. Until next time, keep choosing clarity over confusion, truth over manipulation, and self-respect over self-abandonment. You were never the problem. You were simply learning your worth. And until next time, thank you for being here with me on the Sajin Clarity Podcast. Until next time.